Well, listen up. I am incredibly excited. This entire month of September, I am launching a series that's going to truly change the game. You see, I've decided to dedicate both my social media presence and the podcast around one entire theme of helping you truly embrace your power. You see, it's time for us to stop playing small. It's time for us to stop hiding in plain sight. And it is time for us to truly build a life that we love. So I am going to be showing up everywhere, encouraging you to embrace your power. And I'm going to be sharing some winning strategies and some wisdom that is going to help you really begin to understand that you are here to achieve more, accomplish more, do more, and be more. You see, I'm dropping some gems, and this is my message to you. Girl, you better come get these gems. Let's get into it. For the longest time, I secretly wanted more. I often found myself shrinking to fit in, settling for what was comfortable, and even selling myself short. Once I finally accepted that we deserve success and we are blessed with the power to achieve it, I stopped playing small. I'm serious about building a life I love, and you should be too. I'm Denise Taylor of DeniseTaylor.live, and welcome to Embrace Your Power. I help women prioritize themselves, their success, and their happiness. Now let's meet this week's achiever whose story will inspire you to embrace your power and go. Well, hello there. It's Denise here. You know, every Thursday is treat day because that's when we get connected with a new episode of Embrace Your Power. Now, this is the place where you can count on me to always encourage you to build a life that you love. You see, I believe that God has given us power, and when we embrace it, we can be, do, have, and achieve anything that we want. Now, whether you are listening to me on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or maybe you're even watching on my YouTube channel, I want you to know it is indeed my pleasure to be connected with you. And it is something that I consider an honor. We are in the midst of launching an incredible month all September long. There are so many different ways that you're going to see me showing up with the intention to empower you. You see, this whole notion about building a life that you love, it is one that is more than just a cliche. It is something that I believe you can experience. I talk about the 5 success superpowers all the time, so let me play them back just in case you need to catch up. Number 1 is see yourself successful. We have to begin to see ourselves being, doing, having, and achieving the things that we want. Because the Bible tells us when we see it, we can become it as we think we are. And so when we can begin to set our sights on what it is we desire most for our lives, those secret things that we want, we can see them come to pass. Now, success superpower number 2 is shake off fear. And the reason why that's important is because God gives us divine inspirations for something that feels great. It's got to be big in order for him to have room to get in there and do the incredibly great things that he brings to pass in our life. And because that desire that we have is so great, we can feel a little fear. But I want you to know that fear and faith cannot coexist. And when you begin to pull in the truth of what God says about you, you can eradicate that fear and you can stand firmly on the faith that will keep you empowered and encouraged. Number 3 is do the work. Now that means we got a role to play. We have integrity to show up in. We have efforts to do and accomplish, but we got this promise, and it says that God will bless the work of our hands. So when we get busy, we set ourselves up for him to bless us. Number 4 is take care of you. The mantle of greatness is great. That thing that you are divinely inspired to accomplish, it is a big thing, which means you got to be fit for the journey. You got to take care of yourself. Every aspect of who you are needs a strategy and plan of wellness. And finally, the last is hold fast to your faith. And it's not last because it's the weakest. It is last because it undergirds the entire journey we take. We have to hold fast to our faith so that in days of contradiction, when it seems like it's going left instead of going right, we can be assured in knowing that our faith is going to help us and sustain us to see that thing come to pass. Now, I love talking about the success superpowers, but I don't want them to just be something you get excited about. I want them to be something that you embrace. I want you to embrace your power. And so for the month of September, I am going to be dropping wisdom and winning strategies on both my social media platforms and the podcast because my mentoring program is open for enrollment. Now, there are certain people that are assigned for me to be their mentor. I know that because I am showing up with the intention to help people build a life that they love. And if that is you, then chances are I may need to be your mentor officially. And so in June, I launched a program called Power Play. And this program is specifically designed for women who are ready to go deeper in empowering themselves to build a life that they love. We are just wrapping up our first cohort of Power Play, and it has been incredible. I have mentees that are ready to come to this virtual stage and tell you about their experience, how Power Play has been meaningful in their lives. Now, I want you to hear from one of the people who is a part of the Power Play program. She is my mentee. I am her mentor. Her name is Denise. We share that name in common. And Denise is such a powerful woman in her own right. She is achieving so much success, but she found that she could accelerate her success if she would bring a relationship into play that could encourage and inspire her. Now, when I had this conversation with Denise, I have to tell you, it really warmed my heart. I was a bit overwhelmed because I did not realize how impactful the Power Play program has been to her. Now, I want you to hear her experience. And then on the other side, I'll come back and tell you more about Power Play. Listen up, because it has been an impactful change in her life. And you're going to hear about it firsthand from Denise. You know, getting feedback from people who are a part of the program is a really key element. And I wanted to bring Denise to the table. And yes, this is a double D kind of session. You got Denise on that end and Denise on this end. So I wanted to bring Denise to the table to talk about her experience with Power Play. It has been my pleasure, my indeed pleasure, to be Denise's mentor in this season. She has had some phenomenal successes and experiences that I have been able to cheer her on with from the sidelines. And so I'm just so gracious that she agreed to join and talk a little bit about being a part of Power Play. But before we go there, Denise, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay. Hey, thank you, first of all, for inviting me to come on your podcast. A little nervous, but I'm really excited to be here, really to talk about Power Play. Power Play was just great for me. And so I'm really looking forward to just letting everybody know that it could be great for them too. It's a good thing. I'm a native of Charleston, South Carolina, but I've been in Charlotte for about 6 years now. I work at Wells Fargo and Wells Fargo Legal, and I met some great ladies through Power Play. So thank you for that. And so that's it. I'll turn it over to you.
Oh, that's awesome. And so, you know, as I was thinking about our time, I was really reflecting back to some conversations. I think that may have even happened between you and I at the end of May or early June when you were really looking for a mentor relationship, and you reached out and you and I exchanged some information and some messages. And then you went on vacation to Hawaii and you came back and you had kind of settled on allowing me to be your mentor in this season. And one of the things that I appreciated is the diligence that you did to make sure it was going to be a good fit for you. So walk us through that process that you went through when you were thinking about what you needed and how this measured up.
Yeah, sure. So, you have to be very careful who you let take a lead role in your life. You really do. And so when I decided to find a mentor, it was really important to me that the person is recommended or was recommended by someone that I trust. And you came highly recommended by someone that I trust. And it was also very important to me that the person had a faith-based mentorship program. Very important to me that I felt comfortable with this person. And I'm a researcher. That's my background in legal. I'm going to do the research. And so I had to do the research on Denise Taylor. It was the perfect time because you were doing this 30-day segment. Mm-hmm. And so I was able to listen in on your 30 days to see what kind of advice you give, how you mentor people. I really liked the fact that you will put the information out there, fact-based, faith-based. You put it out there, and you're very down to earth. you're very cool and down to earth. So I like that, and I can tell that you know what you're talking about. You have lived it. You're not perfect. You're real. You've lived it. So that's what made me decide to stick with Denise Taylor. But also, you have this concept that I've always believed in. Your concept of building the life that you love really resonated with me. I'm the type of person, I think that your life is based upon decisions that you've made, choices that you've made. Happiness, if you want happiness, happiness is a choice. Whatever you decide to do in your life is going to be the path. And with you, it's always, you can build the life that you love. So it was a no-brainer that you would be my mentor officially. How do you say it? Let me be your mentor officially.
Officially,
it was yes, it was a no-brainer.
Oh my gosh, I have to tell you, you got me grinning from ear to ear because when I show up, I'm showing up for people who really want to gravitate to doing exactly what you said, which is build a life that you love. And so hearing that resonated with you is so heartwarming to me. So thank you. The one thing I want you to help me with, though, because you are a successful person. You have achieved and you have overcome so many different things in your life. You've taken a healing journey. You had your own relationships to help you with that. When you started thinking, I need a mentor, what was some of the driving thought process behind why you felt that was necessary right now for you?
So I'm a firm believer of working on self. I've worked on myself. I've gone to therapy. I've done the affirmations. I felt like at this point in my life, I needed a mentor or a life coach to help me deal with things going forward. For me, therapy was like handling things in the past, but mentoring is about helping me to go forward. One thing that I had a big problem with is imposter syndrome. Mm-hmm. And just some of your videos I've seen about, or your talks about imposter syndrome, that drew me to you. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I think that it was just time for me to get a mentor relationship.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And I'll tell you, it probably was maybe about 50 days in, you made a post and you had some revelations, and it was a very beautiful post where you could see your own growth. You could see your own determination. You could see how you had done the work to get to where you are. How did that make you feel when you had that aha moment?
That moment felt so good. I felt like at that moment, I felt like, wow, you have done what you set out to do. You belong. I know what brought me to that place is that you had us do this exercise where we had to write down these affirmations. Words give me life. I have always lived my life with affirmations. I've always repeated affirmations to myself, but not one time did I think to stop and revisit my affirmations to bring them current with where I am in life now. Doing that homework assignment, I realized what was really holding me back from knowing that I am where I'm supposed to be was the imposter syndrome. So I came up with these new affirmations thanks to you and Power Play, and they really helped me to realize that my past does not define me. I am who I am now, and I can be whoever I want to be because of the choice that I make. I can build the life that I love by making good choices.
Man, that is so incredible. You are just making me feel like every investment to get things ready, with hopes that it could impact someone the way that you're telling me now it's impacted you is just it's incredible. So thank you for that transparency. Now that you're almost at 60 days, right? It's a 60-day journey, and it's so hard for me to believe that we're nearing the end of it. But now that you're almost at 60 days, like, tell us what that experience meant to you. Tell us, your impressions of Power Play, and if you would recommend it to somebody else.
I can't believe we're at 60 days. I can't believe we're at 60 days. When I started this, before we started the very first session, I was thinking 60 days, that's a long time. And then we had the first session, and I was still thinking, ooh, we have a lot more sessions. But then the sessions were so good. They were so informative. And I started thinking, oh, we're getting close to the 60 days. We don't have enough time. We don't have enough time. I can't believe we're at 60 days. I would love to see this program extend past 60 days. I mean, I've learned so much in this 60 days. I've learned so much about myself in this 60 days. I definitely want to go forward and learn more and just build on what I've learned. I would definitely recommend the program to any and everybody else. I think that Power Play, when you sit and you write out what you want to do, that's great. You should write out your plan. That's absolutely great. But when you have a mentor and the other ladies in the program also who are going through the same thing with you, it makes it so much easier. It makes it so much better. It makes you want to do the work. When you see these other ladies doing the work, it makes you want to do the work. When you get the good feedback from the mentor, when you get the good feedback from the other ladies in the group, it makes you want to do better. It makes you want to learn yourself more. It makes you want to be a better person. I think this 60 days really made a change with me. I feel more confident. Before this 60-day Power Play, I would not be doing a podcast. There's no way I would do a podcast. I feel more confident. I feel like I am where I'm supposed to be, who I'm supposed to be. I'm good. I just feel a sense of pride in who I am and what I've accomplished. I'm sorry. I feel a sense of pride now in who I am, what I've accomplished, how far I've come. That I'm not saying that the imposter syndrome is not there anymore, but I'm saying that I am okay with where I was in my past. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with where I am now. And I know that this is not the final place for me. I know that I can do whatever I want to do. And when I do whatever I want to do, I belong there. And it's because I put in the work. I put in the work. It is for me because I made good choices. And I was able to build the life that I want. I put in the work. I belong there. If it wasn't for this program, if it wasn't for my new affirmations, I'm a different person than I was before Power Play started. So I think that this is the best 60 days I've spent working on myself in a long time. And I've always worked on me. This is the best 60 days I've spent working on myself. I'm sorry.
Wow. I'm going to have to take a minute because, you know, when you're praying for people and you're showing up, you're hoping that it helps. And to hear you just share, it means a lot to me. It really does.
You know, that's another thing that I like about you, your mentorship, and your program. You pray. I remember when I told you I was applying for a new role, and you sent me this voice clip that I still have, that I have listened to more than once. You sent me this voice clip of this prayer for me. Not just that I get the role, but that I believe in myself when I'm applying for the role. That meant so much for me. I'm a firm believer in prayer. I am always praying for self, but there's something special when somebody else prays for you. That's one thing that I love about you too. You will pray for your people, for your mentees. Yes, so thank you for that. Thank you for that. Oh my God.
Denise, thank you. Thank you for sharing. This is incredible. I'm blown away. Thank you. It means so much to get your feedback and to hear how this has been such an incredible part of your life and experience. And it just means a lot to be a part of your success journey, to be there encouraging you, empowering you, and cheering you. That's what brings me joy. And so thank you. Thank you for allowing me, trusting me to be a part of this stage in your life. But I know the best is yet to come. You already know. I told you, you haven't landed. You're still emerging. You're still ascending. And I just hope that I can continue to be there to support you in any way that I can. Thank you, Denise. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. So another thing that I like about you, Denise, is that you will continue to push somebody and you will not let us remain stagnant or start to feel any sense of complacency. Something about me, I don't like to get in trouble. I like to always do what's right. I call it being called to the principal's office. I don't like to get called to the principal's office. So when I'm living my life now after Power Play, whether it's dealing with people at work, dealing with people in my family, being able to say no or whatever, I always have in the back of my mind, if Denise asked me about this, I have to make sure that I handled it the right way because I don't want to get in trouble with Denise. So that has also helped me. I have your voice in the back of my mind, like, okay, well, Denise is going to ask me these questions. I need to be able to answer them the correct way, or she's going to say something about it. So yeah, thank you for that also.
Oh my gosh, that is adorable. Well, you know, that's just where the iron comes in, because iron sharpens iron, right? And we need that little energizing push to keep us going so that we don't settle, so that we don't start hiding in plain sight, as I like to call it. You are one of a kind, Denise. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me here.
So listen, I have to tell you, I was completely blown away by the feedback that Denise gave. I do not schedule ahead of time or walk through ahead of time. And so what you saw was her authentically sharing from her heart. It does my heart good to know that the impact that is being made in the lives of those who partner with me is exactly what I imagined it would be. When I set out on a journey to make myself available and be significant by serving others, this is exactly what I imagined. I imagined that people would build a life that they love, that they would begin to discover that they fit exactly where God placed them, not to become complacent, but to soar and know that they could be, do, have, and achieve what they want, that they would begin to build a life that they love, one that they know that they ultimately deserve. That's what I saw. And it does my heart so good to hear Denise say that that's what she experienced. All of her testimony and all that she shared is something that I work hard to show up and be and do as your mentor officially. I love that she called that out. You see, the reason being is I show up with empowering messages everywhere I go. It just permeates from me. If you know that you are impacted, then I would say this to you: come closer. Come closer, because if you are impacted from afar, just imagine how your life would change if you were to come closer. Now, this month, I talked about the fact that I was going to be anchoring in on wisdom and winning strategies, that I wanted to help you begin to understand how you could embrace your power and truly build a life that you love. So my nugget for today is this. My nugget for you is to stop hiding in plain sight. I did that for such a long time. I hid in plain sight. I knew that there was more that I could bring to the table, even though I was experiencing success, even though my performance was always applauded. I knew that I was holding back. And the reason I was holding back is because I just wasn't confident. You know, Denise talked about imposter syndrome, and the reason why I am so effective at being able to help us truly work our way through and past it is because I experienced it too. I was hiding in plain sight behind the whole perspective and notion that I wasn't enough and that I would not be accepted for who I really was. So I fought to be more successful because I thought my success would shine such a bright light on me. But inside, I was still unfulfilled. I was unfulfilled because I was not showing up authentically, realizing the things that I really wanted. This is where power play comes in, because we begin to work very specifically about helping you to realize that you deserve it. You've worked hard to get there, and whatever it is that you want, you can achieve it. We work hard to get you to understand that the success superpowers are not something that we just hear about, but they are what we begin to incorporate into our lives. You see, when I get to show up and be your mentor officially, I get a chance to be that iron that sharpens you and helps you press through to excel and become everything you know that you can and want to be. The Power Play program is such a significant program that is a game changer for two of the reasons that Denise shared. It encourages you to embrace your power, but it creates community that makes a difference. I loved her expectations and how she desired for it to be faith-based and also something that she could grow and learn from. You see, all of that is intentionally interlaced because I know it is exactly what's necessary for you to experience success that makes you feel proud inside. So let me tell you a little bit more about the Power Play program because enrollment is open through the month of September. You can get on board with the program. This 60-day journey will revolutionize your life. You've heard from Denise in her testimony how it has been a game changer for her. You see, as a part of the 60-day experience, I take you through 3 different sprints. The first sprint is focused on what I call ready, understanding how to begin to identify what resonates with you in terms of your goals based on your values. Then we enter into the next sprint, which I call set. And this is all anchored around embracing your power. It's a 30-day journey of full on empowerment. This is where live coaching comes in. And based on the feedback that I got from the first cohort, we are layering in more one-on-one sessions. And then finally, we get to the last sprint, which is the go sprint. And this is where you begin to put the action into play. Now, there's so many other benefits that come along with the program. So I invite you to really go and learn more. You know, hearing Denise's testimony at least lets you know that I'm showing up to deliver the real deal. This program will make a difference in your life. So I want to be really clear. I want you to know that I understand the assignment of being your mentor. Just as much as you have a choice and a responsibility to infuse the right type of support into your success journey, I have a role and responsibility to show up and be the best possible mentor for you. So I want to be real clear because when you establish a mentoring relationship, it is unlike any other. You see, partnerships accelerate progress, but strategic relationships always accelerate success. And that is a key expectation that you should have when you align yourself with a mentor. In addition to that, I want you to know that I understand that it is my responsibility to act and be a role model. For as much as I encourage you to build a life that you love, it is just as important for you to see me doing the same, for you to see me navigating to relationships that empower me and making choices and decisions that really usher me to the life that I love. It's important to see that modeled because it gives space and room for you to do the same. Also, as your mentor, it is important for you to understand that I am invested in your success. You see, your goals become our goals. I am a critical part of your success journey, helping to usher you to all the things that you are looking to achieve, both professionally, personally, and relationally. It is also important for me to give you constructive feedback. Now, this is where iron begins to sharpen iron. You see, I need to show up and give you that guiding direction that rests upon insight and wisdom as well as experience. You should be able to count on that because that is a differentiator to helping to forge you along on your success journey. The other thing that you have a key expectation for is expecting me to coach you, to help you navigate, to help you with your choices and your decision, help you with your processing and reasoning, help you make some decisions that are going to make a difference in your success. I also serve as a sounding board, one that you can come to with your cares and concern and know that it's a safe place for you to share and be empowered. And finally, the last expectation that is key is you should expect me to follow up on your progress, to make sure that you are moving forward. As a mentor, these are key and they make such a difference when you've got the right person on the team of supporting you. I would love to be your mentor officially. You should come closer to your answers. So before we wrap up, I just have a couple of questions for you, things that I want you to really take a few minutes and ponder. The first question I have is this: are you fulfilled? That's a really big question because we go through life discounting ourselves and discounting what it is we truly desire and want. My call to you is that you deserve your life, you deserve love, and you deserve happiness. In fact, you deserve the opportunity to build a life that you love. And so when we talk about fulfillment, I want you to really assess where you are and where you desire to be, because there's a journey that stands between those two places. That's what I call the success journey. So think about it. Are you fulfilled? The next question I have for you is this: how would it make you feel to be more confident, to be more secure, to be more satisfied, to be more fulfilled? You know, when you imagine how it would make you feel, then you will gravitate to desiring that above everything else. The reason why that's important is because we make a ton of excuses. We discount ourselves and we devalue the priority of making sure that we come first. So when we talk about how it would make you feel, I really want you to think about that. Think about what it would be like if you could experience fulfillment, satisfaction, and even realizing some of your dreams. You see, this whole perspective of building a life that you love, it will require us to change. It will require us to shift. It will require us to rise to the occasion of no longer discounting who we are. That's the reason why I always say it's important to embrace our power. You see, God didn't give us a spirit of fear. He gave us power. And when we embrace it, well, then we can begin to experience more fulfillment. We can begin to experience life, love, and happiness, all the things we want and desire. But when we allow our power to remain dormant, we begin to live beneath what we truly deserve. So more than embracing your power, I want you to play with it. You see, girls play with power too. We can embrace our power. We can build a life that we love, and we can be, do, have, and achieve anything we want. We can experience satisfaction and fulfillment. And I will tell you, when you forge the right relationships, the right partnerships, you will begin to enjoy the journey of building a life you love. You will begin to feel proud of yourself, and you will begin to truly know that you got it going on. I hope you'll visit my website, and I'd love to be your mentor officially. Well, that's it, beautiful. Thank you for tuning in. Don't ever forget that you are truly blessed with life, love, and all the happiness your heart can hold. Be relentless in building a life you love without apology. I'm Denise Taylor, and you can always find me in our free Facebook community. It's Embrace Your Power. Easy to find. Now be sure to rate and review this podcast and share it with a friend, and make sure you subscribe so that we can stay connected each week. And remember, God has not given us a spirit of fear. He gave us power. So be sure to always embrace your power and go.